To the zone with Archie B. Mike. Anthony's here too, let's ride the hype. Bigfoot's on the run, Area 51's tight. Digging deep for truth, we ain't afraid to fight. Flat Earth theories got us spinning wild. JFK secrets hidden in the files. Illuminati whispers, fashion crooked smiles. I won't tune in, sit back and stay a while. Conspiracy chaos, we uncover the lies. Deep state shadows, yeah they can't disguise. We're cracking codes, watch the truth arise. Let the chaos reign, tearing through the skies. CIA plots under moonlight schemes. Hidden agendas ain't as crazy as they seem. Voices in the dark amplifying dreams. Conspiracy chaos, nothing's what it seems. Follow the breadcrumbs, follow the light. In the rabbit hole with us, pitch black night. RGB and Mike, guided by our might. Anthony with wisdom, out of sight. Conspiracy chaos, we uncover the lies. Deep state shadows, yeah they can't disguise. We're cracking codes, watch the truth arise. Let the chaos reign, tearing through the skies.
Let's go. We are back here on another episode of Conspiracy Chaos. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate everybody's support. Subscribing to the YouTube page. The audio versions will be up soon. But gonna have a fun one here tonight. Gonna talk a little bit UFOs, some Roswell. Can't talk UFOs and Roswell without Bob Lazar, so we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll get into some abductions, and then some of the projects that could be government affiliated that have to do with aliens. So we'll get into it. Joining me tonight are my co-host. We got Florida Mike in the house. What's happening, brother?
What's up? How we doing tonight?
We're chilling, man. We're chilling. And then we got Area 51 in. Now, this guy holds all the secrets of tonight's episode. Area 51 in.
I guess so. What's up, boys? What's up,
dude? So, yeah, we'll just get into a little bit of current events quick, or just what the hell's been going on in the world. I don't know what you guys seen. I don't think you could have missed
it. I've seen a lot, Raj. I've seen a lot, buddy, the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, how could you miss somebody actually having some balls on national television?
With Zelensky showing up to the White House in a Puma jumpsuit.
What? Listen,
have some respect, bro. He looks like a fucking. He's going to karate practice.
Yeah,
here's the deal.
Nah, he's going to ballet or whatever the fuck he did prior.
Man, fuck out of here.
Elon Musk wears whatever he wants because he's not begging for money, number one. So I'm sick of hearing the comparison. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Legitimately. All right. Listen, Elon Musk, realistically, for what he's doing, he could wear what he wants. It doesn't offend me, but this guy coming to our country to beg for money to save for his country, and he's the president. That's what I mean. That's another thing. It's a little different. Elon Musk.
Even reporters. Every reporter in that place was in a suit and tie.
So just this is my question. All right.
It's a respect.
Again, I don't want to get too political, but somebody didn't pull the guy aside and say, "Hey, Vladimir, like maybe let's take you out and get a suit for this occasion. Let's take you out." Nobody did that. Nobody thought to do that.
Or maybe they did. Or maybe they did, and he said, "Fuck that."
Here's the problem, man, with people like that. So those are the type of people like a Gavin Newsom or a Justin Trudeau. Those are the type of guys who don't have someone in their corner to do that. The people around them just say, "Yep, yep, good idea." That's like Kanye's people. Yeah, good idea. Yep, great idea. Like shit like that, dude. Like you don't have a friend to put you in check. Like, yo, bro, you're kind of out of line here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
They don't have that guy. So
or maybe he's sitting up there like that because I don't know if you read. It was like a month or so ago that BlackRock and him made a deal, like a $1.5 trillion deal to help rebuild Ukraine.
Zelensky did?
Yeah, Zelensky did. And there's also a video with him wearing a red dress. I don't know.
Go ahead, BlackRock, go help them and stay over there. Like, we're good.
Right. So I think that's why, and that's why Trump's like, you know what? Because, like, we all discussed this earlier. It clearly looks like, with what Trump is doing with the WHO, the WEF, the cartels, the Federal Reserve, boom, they got me.
Yep.
He's going after he's going after the elite. He's going after them.
And that was it.
So the Ukraine is almost like their last leg, I feel like.
Yeah.
Mm.
And for
once
him
we
to come
end,
in and act like that though too is just
yeah,
He was
for
very
sure.
arrogant. He was
It's
very
very
arrogant.
arrogant.
he
But
told he
Keep
called
going
JD
though,
Vance.
Florida Mike. I'm interested in what he sees. I feel like there was more, Florida Mike.
oh no, he's just. I mean,
Sorry.
I think he kind of thinks that like he has the elites backing.
Sure.
Obviously the
Yeah.
elites make money on war, so there's why Zelensky's like, no, I don't want a ceasefire. He's like, my country wants to fight. No, your country doesn't. Like your country's men are being picked up out of the streets and thrown in
Did you see
cars.
them videos, bro? They're getting
Yeah.
kidnapped off
Yeah.
the
So here's
streets
the
to go
deal.
fight, bro. What?
A good friend of mine, Steve, who is a great supporter of the Upstate Golf Guys podcast, and I love debating my friends. You know me, man, on Facebook and everything. And no, I don't want to get I don't want to get too political, but
you got
he-
into one?
no, a little bit. And he was saying, Ukraine is kicking their ass right now. It's like 150,000 to 100,000. That was what he said to me. And I said, sure, but go look at the populations of both the countries. This is what I said. Dude, Russia and Putin can just keep throwing people.
Yeah, they ain't even trying right now, bro. They're just fucking.
Well,
jabbing.
you saw what Ukraine just did yesterday, right? Or 2 days ago?
What did they just do?
They just bombed one of
Oh, yeah.
Russia's major oil
Yeah.
refinery
I mean, listen, Ukraine
right after
is
the meeting.
they're
You think that was on purpose,
truthfully
though? That was
think
on purpose.
I truthfully think Zelensky
Could have been an
just
elite.
wants to stay wars, keep the war going, because I don't know, man. He kept saying like, if
He keeps making money, dude.
he keeps making money, but the bottom line is if Trump can make a peace deal, we know he's got Vladimir Putin's phone number in his back pocket.
Yeah, they're homies.
It's sad to like admit it, but
why not be homies?
They have the same mission. They have the same mission, and people don't understand it. They want to get rid of the elites. Putin's even said it in an interview.
There you go.
Dude, Putin's evil, right? Why not keep him close to hand? Like, keep your fucking, what do you say?
That's my point.
Keep your friends close, but your enemies even
my
closer.
Mom says it all the time. The old saying, keep your friends close, your enemies closer.
Yeah.
You don't think he's doing that with everything? But yeah, I mean,
but if he does that peace deal, Zelensky loses his country. Yeah. His country will no longer be his. It'll be ours.
No.
So he does as soon as he does a ceasefire, because Trump's a businessman, right?
Yeah, that mineral deal is going to benefit the fuck out of us.
He's like, dude, you got to give me my money back, and we're going to take it through minerals, which is the whole reason why NATO wants that country.
Yep.
UN wants a part of it, also part of, the
dark side.
They want that. Ukraine has minerals that people haven't even seen before. That is so rich, and they're just sitting on it. And Zelensky knows that.
It's going to be an interesting fucking couple weeks.
Here's the deal with Florida Mike. This is how the peace deal is going to work with Putin too. If we sign that deal, which I think we are, I think Zelensky has no choice but to sign the deal.
He doesn't have a choice.
He doesn't have
zero choice.
So here's my situation where he's questioning, how are you going to guarantee Putin isn't going to do his thing, whatever. We're going to be in that country digging for a long time. It's not going to be 3, 4, 5 weeks. It's going to be years. You're talking 10, 20. We're going to set up shop, and we will have our military, but it will be protecting
the robots
land, and it'll be protecting that. And here's the deal. We're going to tell Vladimir, like everybody's going to have Vladimir Putin, that is. Like we're going to have the peace deal, and Trump's basically going to say, listen, you're crazy, but I'm fucking crazier to Vladimir Putin. That's what Trump's going to say to him. Literally, that's what he's going to say.
And Trump's peace deal to Putin is going to be two simple things. And you can't, and they both have disappeared. You don't know where they're at. They've fallen off. Is Bill Gates and Fauci.
Sure.
Putin has came out publicly and said, hey, yo, you want me to stop this war? I want both of them. Give me both of them. I'll stop right now.
Did they disappear? Where are they?
Hiding, I would imagine. I mean, Bill Gates has got like a $20 million bunker, dude.
No, I know he's all right, but I haven't heard from Fauci in a long time.
He'll be one of the top names in the episode.
God, I hope Fauci. I hope they get Fauci though. I am so sorry. That guy deserves.
Bro, that goes deep with him into the AZT and back into
There's literal
AZT
U.S.
and everything
states
else.
there are literal U.S. states trying to get warrants for him.
Yeah. So it's before we get the ball rolling in this podcast, funny Fauci story. Just the news. I had News Nation on the TV today at the store, which is a very, very neutral station. Actually, Andrew Cuomo's brother, what's his name?
Chris
Cuomo. His show is on News Nation.
He's a fucking prick.
He's a knucklehead. Yeah. But it's a very. What I'm saying is, people will come in because I'm watching it and they'll see Trump. Oh, what are you watching? Oh. But Elon
I would just
was on
my
today.
I would just leave a screensaver of Trump up all day.
I can. It's busy. I listen. The funny thing is, though, is all my
You see his
customers.
new haircut, terrible.
Here's the
the
thing:
worst.
all my customers now, I feel like, they love me and I love them, and they know where I stand. Though
You just have Trump
I don't
TV
love
going
Trump.
all
I
day.
don't love the guy. I just love what's happening. I just think we needed a change. But anyways, what I was going was that the girl was questioning Elon. She's like, oh, she's like, do you have to? I'm like, actually, yeah. I'm like, I have to. The five things I have to list is to my dad. He's my boss, and I tell him every day like the shit I get done. I'm like, and she questioned me, and like she didn't have. So then she was like, nobody even elected Elon. So that's where I threw out. I'm like, you know who else nobody elected? I was like, Anthony Fauci, and she was just like, she just gave me that look of like, I'm like, listen though, I love all my customers again, but there's just some shit out there that's just obvious. Anthony Fauci was a bad man. Everybody should know that.
We'll do a
by
whole
now.
episode on that, man.
We need to. The guy's a fucking knucklehead.
So what we should do for episodes like where we can get a lot of information on and get some deep shit, we got to bring on some guests for. So we will be having our first guest coming up, as long as everything goes planned. So I don't want to spoil it yet, but pretty big guest in the conspiracy world, to be honest with you, for our first
I'm
guest.
excited, buddy. That's great.
I actually had a chance to meet him
Super fun.
over the summer in Connecticut. It's a funny story. I'll tell it when he comes on. I met him through XG though, so shout out XG on that one. But yeah, it should be a fun episode. I think he actually might be a Nephilim, bro. We'll talk about it when he comes on. But he's about 7 feet tall, dude. He's a fucking giant.
Maybe ancestors.
I had no idea who he was. Like, I knew who he was because I always talked about him, but I never watched the podcast he was on. And then he lost something. I was helping him look for his kid. And then I'm like, he's like, oh, I'm Mark. I'm like, oh, shit, I just gave it away. But he's like, I'm Mark. And I'm like, oh, shit, yeah, I know who you are. I was like, damn, bro, you play basketball, bro? You're like 7 fucking feet tall. He goes, nah, I'm Nephilim. I was like, oh, what the fuck?
I love that.
Super cool combo.
That's
so it'd be fun to have him on. But yeah, man, let's get into it. Let's get into some Roswell, some UFOs.
Sure. I'm ready, boy. I'm excited for this one.
Let's start here. What was your guys' first introduction to like aliens or UFOs or anything like that? It had to start with like ET, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or Flight of the Navigator.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. Flight of the Navigator, with a little boy. What?
And his dog.
So many years. Let me just remember. So what happened? He like had a. I'm trying to.
I don't think I know this movie.
Flight of the Navigator.
Dude, Flight of the Navigator
back to his house,
so dope.
Florida Mike. It's been so many years since I've seen it, but he like comes back.
He was
to his house.
he was playing out. They were playing out like the woods behind the house.
Yeah.
And there was like a little canyon or whatever, and they're like playing in it. And then,
but something with time where he comes back.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's like 30 years later, right? Yeah. There's something. I have this like he comes back and he wants to go in his house, Raj, and it's a total different family living there.
Dude, it's crazy. He's like flying this UFO. He's flying UFO with this alien, dude. He's like,
God, you've never seen that movie?
Get around, banging around, and it's flying. Dude, Flight of the Navigator is dope.
Is dope. I think it's Disney. I think Disney put it out. I believe. I mean, it's at least on Disney Plus. But Flight of the Navigator, shout out.
Flight of the Navigator.
Raj, I could bring that up while we're talking about it. But,
try to find a little clip of that. Be careful though. That might be the reason we're getting pinned for.
Oh, maybe.
Because if you're pulling it off of YouTube or something.
Yeah, true. I'll just bring up a picture of it.
A picture, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Flight of the Navigator, Roger. Your kids would love that movie.
Yeah, somebody right there.
I'll have to check it out. So yeah, man, my introduction was probably ET. Getting into it, and then obviously, once I remember I was in school and there was like a book about Roswell. And I was like, the fuck is Roswell? And I
Yep.
grabbed the book. I had to be like 6th grade. I'm like, what the hell is this? So I started reading about it. I'm like, oh, they found this is real? Like they really found an alien thing, blah, 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 blah. So I started diving into Roswell. That happened in 47. And the funny thing was like how they tried covering up that it was a military balloon.
Yeah, like a weather
Mhm.
balloon or some shit, right?
Yeah, dude. They said it
Isn't
was a
that when
fuck.
like a lot of isn't correct me if I'm wrong? Isn't that when like there was a big technology boom as well? When like a lot of
That's
shit
exactly it. Eh?
started taking off. Okay, I wasn't sure
That,
if that was right.
I don't know if
But let
this
me.
is the video or not because I can't see it. No, that's not it.
Oop.
Go
Here's a
ahead.
Flight of the Navigator though, Raj. While I got it up here, yeah, it's a great flick. You should watch it with the
Pull that
little
picture
one.
up right there. Click the one you were just on to the right. Yeah, the kid. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that
got it.
fucking Fred Savage?
No, it's
Oh,
not.
I don't know. You have to look at the
No, it's
cast.
not. No, it's definitely not.
No.
I know the kid though. He's in a lot of
He looks
movies.
like Elliot from E.T. a little bit.
A little
Yeah,
bit, yeah.
It's
yeah,
very
yeah.
it's listen, it is Walt Disney right there. Walt Disney, Flight of the Navigator. I knew it
Okay.
was Disney.
1986.
But he becomes has a it kind of reminds you of ET a little bit. With he becomes a really good friend of this
Little
creature,
alien. Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah, Disney
Um,
probably stole it from
there it is,
E.T.
right there. Remember that? There it is. There's the. Can you guys see this? What I'm looking at?
Yeah, what year is that? 1996?
86.
86? Yeah. I
That's
don't
wild.
remember that, man.
Is this flipping through on the screen?
Dude, I got a 6.9 out of 10. That's pretty dope.
That's not bad.
Is this
It is a good movie.
This
There's
isn't
like
flipping.
The Wraith. You ever heard of that movie? It was
The
like Charlie
Wraiths?
Sheen's very first movie. It's called The Wraith.
Okay.
WRAITH. It was like
No.
extraterrestrial. Like he died and he came back and he like killed the gang one by one.
No, there's a movie though that Rowdy Roddy Piper does too. That's
Yep.
supposed to be like a big conspiracy
Yeah.
ties to it.
This is not conspiracy shit at all, but I think it's Charlie Sheen movie. What was the
So in
movie
the
where
Roswell, the weather balloon thing. How many people you actually think believe that?
Yo,
the
the
weather
Wraith,
balloon?
Yeah.
RAAF.
WRAITH.
Because I got Roswell pulled up on the computer here, and there's a RAAF captures flying
Yeah.
saucer on the ranch in Roswell region. So
It's like the Air Force, right?
yeah, it's the Roswell Army Airfield capture.
Yeah.
That's just this Roswell was crazy, man. Because like you said, Ant, that really did change. Like that's when our technology really came about. They found what they said was a balloon.
Yep.
Which is a weather balloon, which is crazy to me. Like that's so outlandish. Let's see, what was the guy's name again? Jesse Marcel. He was let's see. Yeah, he was the guy who found it, revealed that the Army's weather balloon claim had been a cover story. So he was the one who found the wreckage, and then all the military showed up. So think about, dude, 1947, they've been like legit hiding this shit.
Yeah.
And like captured. So now we get into Lazar. You guys had a chance to listen to the Rogan or watch the documentary?
Yeah, I watched them. Yeah, both of them.
All right.
Yeah.
So when he said there was one thing about Lazar. Now Bob Lazar has kept his story legit from the jump. It's been the same. He came out in the 80s to George Knapp, who has a station on Coast to Coast Radio where they constantly talk about aliens and conspiracies, and this shit's been going on. The radio station's been going on forever, like having a station like that. And Lazar reached out to George Knapp, and eventually George Knapp's like, hey man, let's do your interview. So they blacked out his face, gave him a fake name, all this shit. He comes on the radio and he tells his story that he worked at Area 51 S4, which is a sub branch to Area 51. There's an S2, S1, blah, 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 blah. And they all do different things, right?
Yep.
So Lazar, when he got to the first day at work, when he got to go, one day all the bays were open. They said there was nine or 12 crafts in there.
Nine.
And one of them was from, if you guys caught this, ancient, like it was an ancient civilization.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Did you guys catch that in there?
I
So,
did.
all right,
Yeah, that was the one that
how
was standing up, I think.
how long has this shit really been going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, because even if you look at like pyramids and the hieroglyphics and the petroglyphs, those are some of those show aliens. They show the wide
Sure.
eyes, the big heads, the grays as we call them. You know, the ET looking ones. Like
Yep.
how they've seen things like the shit's been in the sky for forever. Do they come from the sky? I don't know, but they come from somewhere.
Oh, they're in the sky. I just don't know if they come from space.
If they don't come from space, right?
Yeah.
Right.
There you
Well,
go.
UFOs. I mean, when I was a kid, UFOs was fascinating, right?
Right.
Like, I mean, I couldn't even like a teenager. I was like, man, that's so cool. That if I saw one, I'd be like, yo, what's up? Or you're watching the movies, ET. We were talking Flight of the Navigator, so on. And then I started like expanding my mind to others, like we were talking about. Like, is it space? Are they in the sky? I don't know. I don't know that they're in space.
I love the theory of the ocean, man.
I do think
I
the
feel like
ocean
the
is the
ocean.
space.
So you also, Anth, look this up. NASA used to, back in the 50s, I believe, NASA was originally searching the ocean. They weren't going to outer space. And they abruptly stopped searching the ocean and started searching in space. And if you notice now, they do a lot of training in the ocean and blah, blah, blah. And
Yep.
sometimes when you watch the NASA, you can watch NASA
Sure.
live and you'll
Yep.
see bubbles like scuba. They're basically in fucking scuba gear and you can see
Yeah,
little bubbles popping out. Like it's fucking crazy.
So
probably in the
yeah,
Bermuda Triangle. That's why you can't go there.
Right. Right. What do you got, Ant?
no, I'm just
Did you
trying to
find
read. Birth of NASA, 1958 laboratory officially became part of NASA, a space agency.
NASA was
Uh,
a bunch of German scientists that got kidnapped
yes,
during the war,
yeah, Werner
yes,
von
I knew
Braun?
that.
run over.
Yep.
And then the Coronado base in California. If you do an aerial view of Coronado, you can see the bombing pattern
That's fucking nuts, man.
right next to the swastika emblem. If you look at it from Google Earth.
But what's cool too on the with the Bob Lazar, before we get too far off, uh how he was talking about the propulsion system and the craft
Yeah,
he was working on. He also said the craft was, he couldn't tell if it was like a ceramic or a metal, but it basically looked like there was no 90-degree angles,
Right.
and
yeah, no right turns. Yeah,
it basically looked like it was just heated up and molded real quick. And then he said the only thing he knew what it was and how it worked was the little compartment door that went down to like the seat or whatever.
yeah. It
And
was
only
crazy
some,
too. That orb, the energy,
yep,
the
Oh,
fuel.
it felt like gravity. He said it was like
Yeah,
a
and he couldn't touch
gravitational.
it.
yeah, it was
No,
like two
yeah,
Could
magnets
not touch
together.
it.
yep,
Yep. It
pushed him
just kept
away.
pushing his hand away.
That's wild. But yeah, he said
Um,
the one guy. There was one guy. He said, you just said that there was the door to get inside, and he kind of had to sit on the floor because it was obviously too small for a human. So
yeah, it was made for
whatever,
3.5 feet. I think is what
yeah,
he said. 3.5
yeah,
feet.
yeah, whatever was in. That's wild, dude. That's fucking wild.
It's
Some crazy
nuts, dude.
shit, man. That is
It's
some crazy
fucking, and to
shit.
keep his story the same for so fucking long is just nuts.
Here we go.
Nuts.
Ocean exploration and
But
NASA. Here we go.
my question is what's weird? Like I was talking to you guys off cameras, and all the videos. How come they never talk about space being a theory of where they come from? No one ever says space ever.
No,
They
they'll
do
talk about
one.
it.
They never say the word space.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When you mention that, I kind of thought about it. It's crazy because they'll talk about like what star system they came from or all
Yeah,
that stuff, but they won't talk about like actual space. Yeah, because
yeah.
they say most of it is related, like for whatever reason, Zeta Reticuli is the one that comes up quite often, and you don't know if it's just because that's what people know or this is really something that these people with that get
Hmm.
abducted, you know. I think some people that come up with an abduction story could be a little schizo or something like that, but
They
Sure.
say like a lot, like it's a high percentage
bipolar.
case that people are schizophrenic when they talk about like UFOs or them being abducted. You know, they
Right.
find a lot of them are like what they got like drugs in their system or whatever.
Right,
But there
right.
are
So
like
you see,
there are very few that just don't add up.
But yeah, Rod, you're 100% right. There was, listen, 1960. This is all before space. 1964. A Sea Lob was deployed. It was the first experimental underwater habitat developed by the Navy to research bunch of shit in the ocean. I'm gonna actually bring this up. Let me bring this up to the screen share so we can. This is pretty wild. Bear with me for a minute. Screen share.
You know what's funny too is like all the shapes of like UFOs or what do they call them now? UAPs.
Yep.
UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenons.
Yeah, like all of them are pretty water dynamic. Like if you look how they're shaped and they're
Right.
built, and like the material they're used, it's like almost like a sub material.
So this was all prior to when was the first spaceship? 68. Raj.
Yeah.
When did we first go to the moon?
I don't even
68.
know, bro.
It was 68. I think it was 68. So you were right though. In 64, we had a deep sea submarine Alvin, which would
What's NASA doing down there?
just fucking explore. These are all underwater robots. First underwater
Well,
robot.
why stop?
Yeah, and exactly. And like
Why stop?
and then
Look at this.
pull up some rockets and look at the technology for these submarines, and then they just jump into a rocket that can fly into space.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, what?
I mean, it's wild.
So,
I think something told them to stop looking.
like, just think about it. 'Cause space is unlimited, allegedly, right?
Yeah.
So, at least in the ocean, you can contain a certain area and check off and search it and see what's there. And go down and see if there's caves there. Go down as far as you can. Figure out a way to get to the depths of the depths.
I guess they've never been to the bottom, and I guess
The Mariana Trench, that's the deepest.
so that they know because I wonder what is the percentage of ocean that's been discovered. I bet you it's less than 50%.
Yeah, 30% at best.
Yeah, exactly. So how can they say that the Mariana Trench is the deepest?
Yep. Yo, Amp, can you pull up the Tic Tac UFO?
Sure can.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
All right, so David Fravor, he was also on Joe Rogan.
Bob Lazar.
And he was the one who was the Air Force pilot who called out the Tic Tac. And this thing, he said, went from 0 to 60, got in his path, like all this crazy shit, and then it disappeared into the water. He's one of the first ones to identify it going actually into the water.
Yeah, see?
So Raj, I got it, but it's 4 minutes long. Should we let it run for
and didn't those UAPs by Jersey come out of the water? Aren't there witnesses that said that they came out of the water?
But those have been ours. So with the Tic Tac though,
this is the story, and it's on YouTube, and I'm not totally sure. I don't want to get flagged like we have.
No, you're good. Hold on a second. Fravor also said that this Tic Tac he had that he seen had the same propulsion of the UAP UFO that
Bob Lazar. So
Bob Lazar was working on.
Rod, I'm just gonna put on the clip of the TikTok. I'm not gonna put on the whole thing.
But why haven't they all those threats to Bob Lazar, how come they haven't done anything to him?
Because he's right.
That's what I was wondering. But here,
I mean, he is right, but I mean, just maybe because he's not giving out everything. I found weird was because he knows a lot more.
You know what I found weird? Did you find the migraine thing weird? Like something was fucking hitting him every time he was trying to.
Yeah.
Did you guys like get
that from his phone?
You guys know Andrew Schultz, the comedian?
Yeah.
So he went to dinner the night before with Bob Lazar and Joe Rogan. Yeah. And like when Joe first heard the story, like Bob sat down at dinner, told him exactly the story. And then Schultz came on the podcast like the day after.
Yeah.
He was like the next one or whatever. And those two were just talking it up. And he's like, what did you think? And Schultz was like, it was hard not to not believe him. Like he was telling him from sitting there with him, he was telling the truth.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy thing about it. Like the whole story with his wife and all that shit too, thinking he was cheating on him.
Yeah, and they were listening to him.
Dude,
Yeah.
that was crazy too.
And then he's like, "Hey, guess what? This is what your wife's doing."
How about when they were out on the they were going out there, like they brought the trailer out that time.
Yeah,
He was
they take a fucking Winnebago to go out there.
He was like,
Yeah.
they were
Yeah,
20.
and they had the big ass cameras with the VHS tapes
But he
going
said
in.
when the green light, he said like a green light rolled up to them. He's like, "What the fuck is this thing?" He's like,
right
"It was
next
like
to him.
it was." They were all right next to him, bro. It was fucking. They were being watched the whole time.
But here's my thing. Like, here's my thing. In my opinion, he didn't really give out like detrimental information. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, sure, he talks about the reactor and like what it's like and how powerful it is. Sure, but he doesn't give out anything
he exposed Area 51 for being what it was.
Yeah, but we all knew that.
Right.
But
We didn't all know that.
We
We
knew
just
it, but
didn't
we
have
didn't
that
know
kind
that.
of confirmation. You know what I mean?
He was the guy who confirmed UAPs, UFOs,
Yeah.
whatever you want to
Let me
call
run
it.
this out. Let me run this
sure,
TikTok bullshit.
Yeah,
Hold on.
I'm pretty. All right, go ahead.
Let me hold on. I got this up. This is the TikTok thing, right? I believe.
Yeah, hold it up.
And it was maneuvering in a way that we didn't recognize, that we couldn't classify, we couldn't identify.
And what do you think it is, looking back?
Oh, I'm not qualified to make that analysis. It's almost 17 years now, and I know there are a lot of folks who are curious and concerned about it, but I gave my debrief, gave what I could in terms of the information and data from that day, and I'll leave it up to the expert analysts to do their job and make that determination.
And type in David Fravor, Fravor.
Yeah, you will.
He's the one who was the
How is it spelled? Sorry.
David Fravor.
Hold on.
Can you imagine if he didn't get in trouble with like his friends and his wife didn't get caught cheating, like what he'd be doing still with Area 51?
Oh
right. Because he's he made what? He had the he put a jet engine in a Camry
car
or something, like a
That's
Toyota
crazy.
Camry.
They'd go 200 miles an hour.
That's how they found him. That's how they knew about him.
They heard him.
They heard him. They said, "We got to get this guy." I'm sorry. One more time. David
FR.
FR.
AVOR.
AVOR. Got you. Oh, who's this guy?
He's the one. Retired Navy Commander David Fravor was the commander of the FA-18 fighter jet squadron on the USS Nimitz when he says he spotted the object during a flight off the East Coast.
Yep. And in 2020.
And why are they always over water?
There should be a video when you Google it.
It is always over water.
Yeah.
You could, you could find this. He was on 60 Minutes in 2021.
On your search, Ann, is there a YouTube video with the Tic Tac object unidentified? That might be the video to watch. It's like a minute long, minute 15 long.
Let me look for it, buddy. Let me look for it.
So yeah, David Fravor. Here's the video, and when you hit play on this, this is the one he kind of. I'll let him explain it.
Absolutely.
Right, so we're looking down at this thing, and first thing you think is helicopter. So the first thing you look for is rotor wash. You know, if you watch any TV show that starts kicking the water up, and you can see that it's really easy to see from the air. So we're like, oh, no rotor wash. Matter of fact, don't see any rotors. Don't see any tail rotor. Don't see any, the main rotors. We're like, that's kind of weird. So
how far away are you from this thing?
I'm at 20,000 feet, and it's right down on the surface, right off our right side, and we're just watching it move around. And I'm like, okay. So I said, I'm gonna go check it out. So I start driving around, and it's still doing its forward, back, left, right. It's still pointing north, south. We get to about the 12 o'clock position. I'm just in a nice, easy descent. A reason is because I've been asked, could you go more aggressive? You can, but when you're out over water, the water looks the same at 20,000 feet as it does at 2,000 feet. You don't, so you can easily put yourself in a non-recoverable position if you're not paying attention and you go into the water. So I got this nice easy descent. I get to about 12 o'clock, and as I'm coming down, I could guess probably about 18,000 feet now, a couple thousand feet below the other airplane. The Tic Tac just kind of rapidly goes boop, and turns. So now it's kind of pointing east-west, and now it mirrors us. So it's above the surface. We're up high. We're coming down. And it starts coming up. Well, this is getting interesting. And I get over to about the 8 o'clock position on the clock, and it's over at about the 2 o'clock position. Well, the quickest way, as we know as kids, to get someone, you can keep going around the circle. Nothing's going to happen. You cut across the circle. So I'm about, I don't know, probably 2,000 to 3,000 feet above it. And I just kind of drop my nose aggressively and I cut across the circle, and it's coming this way. It's because I'm trying to fly to where it's going to be, because I want to join on it. I want to see how close I can get to it.
Right.
And as I'm pulling up, it's kind of starting to cross my nose, and it starts to accelerate. And within about less than a second, as I start to pull nose onto it and it crosses right in front of me, it just goes poof and it's gone.
That's a commander. That's a Navy
Yeah,
commander.
that's a big
Like,
dog.
That's not some bum that you just seen on the street asking for $1 like that. I seen a UFO. No, that's like a legit certified like dude, man. Like it's a
And Mike,
Navy
what did you
pilot
say?
commander.
You always notice something. It's over water, right?
It's just over every
Underwater.
story you hear about any encounter of like somebody like that's a professional pilot. You see like pictures and stuff when they're over land, but something
Sure.
that actually is active and they're chasing or seeing with their own eyes is always over water.
Over water.
Yep.
Yeah. And he even
Wow.
mentions later in that podcast on the Rogan podcast that he sees it go into the water as well too. So
Yeah.
it's wild, man.
They're
Now,
perfectly shaped. Everyone you see is perfectly shaped. Do you know how fast they probably go underwater? If they can go that fast, in the air with the way they're shaped, because
Yeah, they
they say that they always point north and south, the ones that they've seen, and they fly
right.
like belly up, like tires facing out or whatever he said, and go like that. I wonder if when they hit the water, if they go nose because the nose is always pointing up top.
That
So
is true.
I wonder if it drops and just goes this way through the water.
Now, was that so? Think about it. That was in 2004. This
Yeah.
what Fravor was doing. So Bob Lazar was doing what he was doing in the 80s. Do you think that the technology is good enough to where we can put someone in that plane, or maybe now with the AI robots and everything else, just have it crafted and we're flying that thing like a drone? And that was our government, opposed to like actually someone from another planet or star system or whatever you want to call it.
I think we figured it out with some help. I think whoever gave us the technology and an agreement, maybe with the Antarctic Treaty, who knows? Hold on. They
Yeah,
they
it,
had an agreement, right? So they send
that's
all these,
another interesting one too, Mike, in the
yeah,
Antarctic Treaty, dude.
and they send all these guys. They handpick like Bob Lazar built this super jet car that goes 200 miles an hour, and they're like, dude, let's see if he can figure it out. I mean, who else would build something like that? It's odd.
Right.
So, I think we just couldn't figure it out. I think it was probably rather simple, to be honest with you.
Shit.
But I think they got help. I think we have figured it out. I think we have it. I mean, direct energy weapons, stuff like that. I mean, you see some crazy things. I mean, Bob Lazar also did classified like super weapons, did he not? I believe he talked
Yep.
about that a little bit.
Yes, he did.
Well, I know of a place in Illinois that does the same thing. It's called Fermi Lab, and it's underground,
Tell
like
me
big
more.
time. And
Tell me more.
they supposedly have a machine that splits atoms. And they do like quantum
What would
stuff, and they do like weaponry and stuff like that. I mean, hearsay. I mean, these are just things that I've heard people talk about. But the people who work there live there, like how he said about Area 51.
Yep.
You might live there 3 weeks and then have 1 week off. You have to sign an agreement that they can listen to everything and anything you say at all times. Like crazy shit. Like
Yeah, he would get called out of his house at 11:30 at night. His wife would think he was cheating on him. She started sleeping with like her personal trainer or whatever.
yeah. And then they're like, oh, hey, by the way, here's some information about your wife. And by the way, you're in trouble and you no longer work for us. So go chill out and we'll
Yo,
talk
that
to you later.
Then they cleared everything. They've even tried to clear like his education history and all that shit. And check
He
out
already did
Instagram.
all his friends and families. Like they had them all investigated and like
Yeah.
IRS and like lives were threatened and dude, that's how powerful that shit that they have. They have that.
They got
Like
everything.
you know, Elon Musk. Can you imagine if he got his hands on that technology? Or maybe
Shit.
he has. That's why he's building robots.
Probably. I mean,
Um,
wouldn't doubt it one bit, bro.
you know what I mean? I think like Area 51 is huge, right? And like we only know a fraction of what it does from like things you see from videos, cameras, stories. Um, I think 100% the Area 51 is connected to the Grand Canyon.
Hmm.
You know, you have things at the Grand Canyon. You know,
Yeah,
you're not
Grand
allowed. There's a
Canyon.
lot. You can't fly there. You can't. There's like areas you're not allowed to go in that are monitored by military.
They're all gold, bro. It's
Yeah,
all
the
gold in
pyramid.
there.
The pyramid is there. There's a pyramid there. There's also the god.
Wait, you're saying there's a pyramid in the Grand Canyon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Where?
Um.
Do I gotta
You
look this
can't-
up on Google Earth and find this?
You ain't gonna find it.
Yeah.
That's the
I mean,
problem.
yeah. They have it's all hidden. Like they have what's the pharaoh dog or whatever that sits in front of one of the pyramids in Egypt? We have like the same thing here in the Grand Canyon.
Really?
They have like whole worlds down there, I guess, or like whole like cities.
Well, I mean, I knew that. I knew it's some ancient shit, but
But yeah, Area 51 is connected to that. I mean, imagine like
And I
someone
just sent you a
someone
video.
seeing a UFO, someone seeing a UFO coming straight out of the ground at Area
Well,
51. You know,
speaking of someone seeing a UFO, did you guys ever hear about the school in Zimbabwe that in 1994 these kids seen fucking a craft land on their school playground during
no.
the morning break,
uh,
and literally two aliens walked off of the plane, and they told their teachers, no one believed them. They went home and told their parents, and then like parents like showed up to school the next day and were like, yo, our kids are all saying that they seen something. What the hell happened here? So then like the authorities and everybody got involved after that, and every single kid was interviewed like separately, and they all told the same exact story, like
Let's
from the
watch it.
whole time.
Let's
Go
watch
ahead.
it. Can we watch the whole thing? I mean,
Yeah, I think so. It's 3 minutes.
it's 3 minutes, but whatever.
Yeah,
Our followers will probably enjoy it as well.
I'll narrate it a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Something major has also happened in Africa. A unique mass encounter between aliens and school children. One night, thousands of people in Africa saw a meteor. 2 days later, something allegedly touched down outside Ruwa, Zimbabwe.
This object landed with 3 or 4 things beside it, and then a door opened, and this little man got out. He had on a black suit.
At the Ariel Primary School, 62 children came into contact with what they say were alien creatures.
They were very slim, the suit was black, but it was the eyes that was frightening.
A large number of children, all with the same apparent story.
Why would 62 children lie?
Celebrated Harvard professor John Mack interviewed the young eyewitnesses.
It was silver,
look at the tent in
and the
the
ring
background.
around it was red.
Was red. Did light come from the whole thing, or
There are lights around here.
lights along the edge there?
Look at the picture they're drawing here, guys. It's very similar to something Lazar
I
did.
saw one over here. They had eyes like that, and they were kind of just like looking at us. They were like kind of astonished at what we were. Felt scared.
It felt scared? What was scary about it?
Well, I felt scared because I've never seen such a person like that before.
They experienced very powerful encounters with these beings, and were left with a rather disturbing fact that this seems to be what it is, and it seems to have no other psychiatric explanation.
Mack feels the children did not experience a mass delusion, but they believe the aliens had an ominous message.
Fungi, what do you imagine is his reason for visiting Earth?
I think it's about something that's gonna happen.
Something's going to happen.
What I thought was maybe the world's gonna end. Maybe they're telling us the world's gonna end.
Wow.
I think they want
Look at their
Imagine.
mindsets back then. Like, yo, shit's over.
people
Wow.
to know that we're actually making harm on this world and we mustn't get too technologized.
How did that get communicated?
Huh.
Mustn't get too technology.
Technology.
Pollution.
He never said anything. It's just that the face has the eyes. They look horrible.
And the eyes, the horrible look, had that information that you just told me?
Yes.
In Africa, media exposure to aliens or UFOs is limited.
Now, the people in Africa don't have television. They might have a radio, but I can tell you the media don't deal with UFOs there. But nervous of it. So where would they pick it up? Is it a mass telepathy?
The children maintain a belief in what they saw
Wow.
and felt.
If someone were to
Crazy
say,
shit,
well,
Rod.
Dude,
you
a
know,
bunch of them got sick too, if
you made
I'm
this up, what would you
correct.
say?
I think
I
like
haven't been influenced by any of my friends. I have seen what I've seen.
What year was this?
1994, dude.
Yeah. So do you think that Area 51 holds
Get that off there.
extraterrestrials?
What's that?
Do you think Area 51 holds extraterrestrials?
I think so. I do. I think for sure that there's I think
Do you
it's
think
I mean Men in
Do you
Black
guys
type
think
shit, dude.
Do you guys think it's what
Like Independence Day type shit? Or
I
they
was
have
gonna
them
say,
like
well, I'm
Yeah.
wondering, do you guys think it's what Hollywood or whatever says it what it really looks like? Is that like, you think it really has those features of ET, or do you think it's something different? Like,
Well,
I'm
I
curious.
think it does. I
Here's your
think
thoughts.
they have the big eye, you know, that they like I think that, but I also think that there's different types. And
Yeah.
I
absolutely.
think
Like
Here's
we
the
have
thing.
different races.
And
yeah.
here's the thing: where was who told us that that's what ET looked like, or like in general? There is
The
no doubt
Marabe. The
there.
Marabe. I'm just trying to look it up, but I can't find it because I'm on the computer here and I don't know how to
That's
use
some
this thing.
wild shit if you look back really and try to figure it all out. But it's some crazy shit, man. Some crazy shit.
There's so many possibilities. You know what I mean? Like I do think that there are different races and stuff on the other side of the ice wall. Those ships that we don't know what they fly. We could very easily have some of those. Like could be given to us. I don't know, because you talked about like Bob Lazar said that the capsule was He was, what did he say he was? 5'9", and it was half his size.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, you know, and then we like Fly to the Navigator. That was a tiny little creature compared to what we like normally see on TV or like people's images, but they all have big heads, I've noticed.
Right.
Like anything and
Right.
everything anybody's ever described is they have bigger heads than we do.
Yo. So I
they're
think a lot
definitely
of the
smarter.
hieroglyphics and stuff and on the walls of Egypt, they're all drawn on there, and that's what they look like. So they've seen them. Have they seen them back in the,
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, when I
1700s?
started off, that's kind of like what my whole thing is like, and it's been the same for so long. Like the ancient pyramids, dude. Like, did they help build these fucking things? We
Yeah,
don't know.
were they summoned by the pyramids?
What did we do to get them out of here? You know what I'm saying?
Like, I wonder how many UFO sightings are found around pyramids.
Good question.
Or like, there's a lot of sightings around like after Roswell, and then after they say that a lot of it was after World War II when we did the nukes, the nuclear shit. We
Yeah.
started seeing a lot more sightings too.
We could have woke something up underneath too. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Because there's definitely like I hear like stories that you'll hear of like divers who have these subs or whatever, and they go down and it's like the darkest of dark, and then all of a sudden they come up to like what they describe as like a portal underwater.
Okay.
And they see it's rippling right around the edges, and it's just an image of somewhere else. And they don't go because they don't know if they can come back.
No shit.
You know, like that's I mean, I understand that. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, for sure.
Here's something for you guys. Here's
how
something for you.
committed are you?
Did you guys know that for decades the U.S. government refused to even acknowledge the existence of Area 51, and it wasn't until 2013 that declassified CIA documents confirmed its purpose as a testing site for experimental aircrafts. But that hasn't stopped speculation. In 2019, the viral Storm Area 51 movement attempted to bring truth seekers closer to the base. You guys remember that? Remember knuckleheads were going to try to storm the base?
Hell yeah.
And so it ultimately ended in a music festival rather than a full-blown raid.
Remember, Independence
Lazar
Day,
was-
they ended at Area 51 on Independence Day.
Yep. Lazar was saying, "Don't do it." He said, "I know." He came forward and he said, "Don't fuck it. Don't."
Yeah, don't do it.
Don't try to. Don't try to do it, guys. But what do we really
you would
know?
lose.
Some believe
You would
Area
lose.
51 is simply a testing ground for advanced military technology. While others insist it's a epicenter of the extraterrestrial activity. Could both be true. That's for sure, and always is somewhere in the middle.
And to sum it up too is like anybody who thinks that we are the only mother truckers out here has got to be more insane than we are. You can't possibly think that we're it.
Right. I was just gonna say it's kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Selfish. To assume that we're the only ones. Selfish, is that the right word? Like,
yeah.
We're not the only ones, guys.
Like I used to think that we were like a bad experiment, so they just left us. They're like, yeah, these people are fucking stupid. Leave them, let them evolve on their own. Let them do
Here's the
whatever.
problem.
That's actually funny as shit, Mike.
Florida Mike, what I'm afraid of though is when they're gonna like say, you know what, fuck these people, or fuck this experiment, and just claps their hands on us or whatever it is. That's what I'm scared of, bro. Like, we're just a tiny molecule of what is out there, bro. Tiny molecule.
Well, wasn't it Bob Lazar and Rogan? I think it was them too. They were talking about how we evolve into.
What is a UFO flying over you right now, bro? Is that a UFO? What do we got?
Oh yeah.
What do we got? Look up, baby. Look up.
Army doing practice landings at the airport.
Let's go. Okay.
Just got done poisoning the skies.
Right. That was earlier this morning. I sent Anthony some. But
on the page. That's
on the page too. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Crazy. I think we're evolving. Like I think that there's zero anything we can do about technology. Technology is part of the evolution now. AI is a part of the evolution. Robots are part of the evolution, right? So I wouldn't doubt it if we were talking about how they just come over and end us. I don't think that would happen like that. I think that Agenda 2025, right? That's to let everybody know that there are UFOs and this and that. I think they would start getting accustomed to it, and then I think you see people that like evolve with like almost like a computer style brain, like everybody can do. I think we just get stronger. We don't stay this way. I mean, this is only our vessel after all.
Right.
Our soul, our energy, our soul control the body. And I think that there are species out there who have these UFOs who are far more superior than we are. There's just no way. I mean, we're taught in school that we can only use 10% of our brain.
Yep.
So UFOs are fascinating. I like them. I think people who talk about aliens and stuff like that and laugh and like, oh, this is impossible. It's not going to happen. We're the only ones out here. Like, why haven't we seen it? I think we're just, as a whole, people aren't ready for it. Could you imagine if like in like the 1960s where everybody's like hippie the fuck out doing drugs and all of a sudden these aliens are here, pop up like, hi, how you doing? Civilization would freak out probably and crumble. like once our generation's gone, who knows what's going to happen to those
We
poor
might be
people.
almost ready for it at this point, though, with like all the warnings and what we're being told, and with all the hearings they're having hearings at Congress and Senate about it. So like, either they know it's coming, Are
Yeah,
they
is there a treaty?
Are they preparing us for something?
Yeah.
Or is it the whole? Are they preparing us for Project Bluebeam, like, or whatever the?
Hey,
You want to bring that up? Do you want to bring
not
that
yet,
up?
not yet, not yet. I got one I want to bring up before we get into the project,
Yeah.
Blue Book and
Sure.
Bluebeam. I want to get into
Bluebeam.
abductions.
Okay.
You guys familiar with the Betty and Barney Hill abduction?
I am not.
No.
Tell me
And
more.
if you pull up the video I just sent you on Instagram,
I know there's very few like legit abductions. Am I right?
So the big ones that I the most believable ones in the history that I would go off of would be this one here, the Betty and Barney Hill that we'll get into in a second, and the Travis Walton. He had the Fire in the Sky movie we talked about, I think, last episode.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the most believable of any abduction story that I'm familiar with.
Okay.
Travis Walton was up at the log. He was a logger. When his buddies were on the way home, they seen the light in the sky in the woods on the way. They stopped the truck. Walton started walking towards the light. His buddies freaked out. Something shot out of the craft. He disappeared. They took off. They came back to get him. He was gone. So and then 5 days later, he showed up, all fucked up.
No shit. Here, I got it up right here. Here we go.
Yeah,
It's just,
this
you
is
know,
Betty
it
and
would be
Barney Hill.
unprofessional for him to say, okay, there's even a possibility that there were abductions. But
The Betty
is
and
a great
Barney Hill
podcast.
story is very interesting, but there's no real evidence other than their testimony. Is that correct?
Well, there was a stain on Betty's dress. There's her excellent recall. He was unconscious.
What was the stain on her dress that's so interesting to you?
It was a fluid that they used in the testing, that some kind of a fluid,
The
a chemical
alien testing?
that they did when they drew ova from her and they drew sperm from him. It was Betty's. It's their credibility. Why would they want to bring this into their lives? And she was conscious, semi-conscious through much of it, and Barney was not conscious. He was unconscious. If you hear the tapes of Ben Simon's interviews with them under hypnosis, the screaming and he was just so frightened, can't accept it. It's just, you know, it would be unprofessional for him to say.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah. So Betty and Barney Hill, they were from Maine. They were driving down the highway, and all of a sudden they had like a time loss. And then they remembered being abducted. See if you can pull something up quick.
Is this so that was on the Rogan podcast. And just I don't want to get, again, we're new at doing this shit. I'm hoping that doesn't get flagged or copyrighted. That's my question, Raj. Is this shit gonna get copyrighted? And are we gonna have
we'll find out. If we find out, we'll message YouTube and see what we got to do to change it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, because I didn't get a notification.
I got you. But
We'll figure it out.
that's all I'm wondering.
Yeah, so Betty, or New Hampshire, excuse me, they weren't from Maine. It was New Hampshire. American couple who claimed they were abducted by extraterrestrials in a rural portion of the state of New Hampshire from September 19th to 20th in 1961. The incident came to be called the Hill Abduction and the Zeta Reticuli Incident. So once again, Zeta Reticuli getting dragged back into it. Two UFOologists connected the star map showing the Betty Hill with the Zeta Reticuli system. Their story was adapted into the best-selling 1966 book, The Interrupted Journey, and NBC's 1975 television show, The UFO Incident. So, yeah, man. These people were just normal people. Guy was a mailman. She was a social worker. Chilling. Minding their own business.
It's crazy.
They're on their vacation to Niagara Falls from Lancaster, New Hampshire.
Let me ask you this. Crazy, since we're conspiracy people. Do you think that the U.S. government or world government or whatever, do you think that there's a treaty with these superior beings and it might be up? That's why they have an agenda or the Project Bluebeam coming. Maybe the treaty's coming up and maybe they don't think that the treaty is going to be re-signed. And do you think the reason why we don't know that there's a lot of abductions is because part of
National
the treaty
parks.
is part of the treaty is because we have to give them people?
No, I think a lot of it's national parks. That's where the missing 411 comes in.
Right. But I'm saying like most, because you don't hear about a lot of abductions. Is that because it's probably You think it might be behind the scenes where the U.S. government's giving people giving people to the extraterrestrials for
yeah,
science?
100%, Mikey. Anthony, if you pull up, I want to say, U.S. president. Pull up. U.S. president makes deal with aliens. I don't know
Was
which
that
one.
Nixon?
No, it was Eisenhower. It was Eisenhower, I think.
Okay.
Eisenhower. Yeah.
Yep. Bro, this
It's like
is
a treaty
exactly
and
it.
shit, right?
Yeah, so they can only take them.
Ooh, good theory, guys.
Only take them from national
theory.
parks.
Good theory. Here we go. I
But they
like
can only
that
take them
theory.
from
I
national
like the
parks, if
theory.
I'm
It was
correct, right?
Eisenhower. Hold
Isn't
on.
that creepy? Only from
Yeah,
That's
because there's
crazy
so
thought,
much
though.
space to where you won't be
Weirdly,
seen.
I love that thought, though. Florida Mike.
Where was ET? ET got picked up in a national park. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, that's right.
Ooh.
Wasn't Fire in the Sky but wasn't Third Encounter or whatever? What's it called? Close Encounter from the Third Kind. I think
Yeah,
was
I've
a
never
national
seen that
park.
one.
I think it was a national park.
All right, guys. It's 5 minutes long, but let's watch it. Let's
watch some of it. Let's see what you got.
Well, it was on so this was on the History Channel. So maybe we got to announce it before we put it on. So copyrights. This was on the History Channel before, and obviously on YouTube, so you could find it for yourself. But this was the Eisenhower story. It's good theory, Florida Mike. I like that one.
You could just pull up
Dead
the
Horse,
article.
Alaska, February 9th, 2023. High above this remote oil drilling outpost,
kill this. You'll get flagged for this.
the United States Air Force detect floating.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Just pull up an article. Pull up like a.
All right. I got you.
You're gonna have to edit out the 1 minute, the 1 hour mark.
Yeah, I don't want to have to do that.
Bro, look at check this out. Why he's doing that? Close Encounter of the Third Kind, right? We were talking about national parks, where the movies were. Close Encounter of the Third Kind, 1977. Steven Spielberg at the Devil's Tower National Monument in Wyoming. That's where the movie's based off of.
So there we go. National parks again.
National park.
That's
it was
crazy.
It was Eisenhower.
All right, so Rod,
it?
I'll bring. Yes, it's gonna. I got it right here.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring this up. So you're smart move, Rod. Smart move. I'll go. We'll go edit that out. But yes, instead we'll do this. We'll do the story. We got Eisenhower. Did Eisenhower really meet aliens?
He looks like an alien. Ugly
So they said he went to the dentist. So they said he had a dentist appointment, and somehow he disappeared for a couple hours. No one knew where he was, and allegedly had a secret meeting with aliens to where he made a deal with
the deal.
Am I right on all this?
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely feel like there's some, like, whether it's reptilian or what people call alien, they're definitely infiltrated into our government.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Some way, somehow.
Ooh.
Some way, somehow.
And they could be literally.
Eisenhower.
They always say the Nephilim and Anunnaki were fallen angels.
Yeah. Musk could be one. I think Musk is something like of that nature.
He was. Yo, Musk doesn't look human, does he? Does he look weird to you guys? Like, does his?
Yeah, because he's got Asperger's, bro. He's not normal. He's from South Africa. He didn't grow up here. There's a lot to him, dude.
Yeah,
he doesn't know. He has social
disorder.
He's a little bit of that R word. It's okay. We won't say it. He's a little bit of that R word.
He's got like an Asperger's or something.
Yeah, most of the smartest ones are.
Yeah, he only got to ride the big bus on field trips.
Rod, I got you. Listen. In 1954, President Eisenhower was vacationing in Palm Springs, California, when he abruptly disappears. The president didn't know where he went, literally. They mistakenly sent out a bulletin stating Eisenhower died tonight of a heart attack in Palm Springs.
Yeah,
it had to be retracted. There were two theories as where President Eisenhower went. The first comes from Eisenhower's press secretary, that James Haggerty, who claimed the president chipped a porcelain cap while eating. So he had to go to the dentist.
Right.
So
Secret dentist appointment, or he
right,
went and met with the aliens.
or right. The second was he called away to meet aliens a few months and aligned an alien encounter. A self-proclaimed mystic said he was at Edwards Air Force Base that night and saw the president with both flying saucer aliens, or both flying saucers and aliens. This story even made its way to the National Enquirer, which is a bullshit magazine, but to the National Enquirer.
Oh man, even Men in Black use that magazine, dude.
All the best alien media lives. And then speaking with the Washington Post about the incident of the 50th anniversary, Michael Salla, a former American university professor, said that there was telepathic communications between Eisenhower and the aliens.
Yep.
Dude, so I believe that there. I don't think he had a tooth. I don't think he had a mysterious.
And that the deal was that they could take it from the national parks. That leads to the 411. It also leads to Rogan had guest on these two guys recently. This new whistleblower on UAP project and shit. He said he spotted one when he was in the desert, dressed in military garb, and basically he looked like he was blue. And the driver of the car was like, "Yo, don't go near him, man. He doesn't have any ears. He doesn't have any fucking ears."
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't go near him, but he was like probably 5 feet away from him, he said. And he was like telepathically communicating with him. And it's one of the things he was looking for was actually something that Bob Lazar brought up when I re-listened to the podcast the other day. It caught my ear. It was that Titrium or something like that. It starts like that, some type of metal, aluminum. It's very rare. It's very rare on this planet, basically. And that's what that guy was looking for, and that's what Lazar said they used on the plane on the craft that he was messing with. And there's also that element 111 or 115 that Lazar was, had his hand on. So
for our listeners,
he said, like, you imagine if we had force fields around our military weapons?
That's crazy. So he worked at, it was called Area S4, and it was 15 minutes south of Area 51, guys.
Correct.
We didn't tell the listeners that, which was just all nuclear test sites at the time.
Yeah. I did in the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, you did say
the
that.
base, and we discussed the base before that, where he was at before.
I didn't hear that S4 part. All right, gotcha. But yeah, no, it's crazy because I didn't realize that there was more to Area 51. Like that whole area is pretty wild, man. It's pretty crazy.
Well, Bob Lazar credits himself to them boosting security and land grabbing.
Yeah. Well, that's, the land grabs and the government, man. They always, once shit goes down, they always got to get their hands on
Raj,
things.
here's those stars. Here's the
Zeta Reticuli.
Yeah, I put that up there. Yeah,
there you go. That's wild.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
so that's supposedly where everything comes
30,000 light years away. How can we see that?
Yep. But I can't see. If I went to the highest point in New York and the highest point in Florida, I couldn't see you, Mike.
Nope. How can we see
miles.
30,000 light years away?
Yep.
Like I was listening to so we're like talking about UFOs, right? So this kind of fits into it. I was forgot what UFO page it was on, but I listened to this guy's comment. I read it, and he said that the moon is a ship. He said because it's all metal and it's hollow in the middle. People have said that that's the moon. That's perfect for a ship. What's a ship? Everything in the middle is hollow, especially if it's livable, and everything on it's metal. And it's the only thing. They say it's the only thing in space that doesn't rotate. What else wouldn't rotate?
It's the same side every time. Yeah. Which is
crazy.
chilling.
And that is who put us here.
They're keeping an eye on us.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just the craft he drew. That's what he said it looked like. That's a little compartment below. That's the propulsion system on the bottom there.
Yeah. Dude,
really
that looks
cool
just
shit,
like
man.
that looks just like the ship on Flight of the Navigator.
And doesn't it look like the one the kids were drawing?
Yeah, that's
Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
It really does. It really does. That's wild.
So
this is that, and then this is the lake that they were partying at over there, where they what were they talking about? Lake
him and his boys.
Yeah. Where I forgot where he was talking about Lake Papoon
Lake
or something.
Shiobi?
No, it wasn't
no.
Lake Shiobi. I think it was called Lake Papoon or something weird.
Yeah. That's right.
Papoon Lake, yeah.
Papoon Lake.
Papoose Lake, Papoon Lake, something like that, yeah. Yo, so Ant, there was something
Listening to
earlier
the conversation
that I was talking about that when I said it, you went to correct me. The Project Bluebeam.
Yeah.
Project Blue Book. Is this something you've ever heard of?
I haven't heard the Blue Book. I've heard the Blue Beam.
What about you, Mikey? Project Blue Book with Dr. John Allen Heinrich?
Yeah, just a little bit. It's pretty much that was ran by the Air Force, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was. So once all these UFO things started happening after Roswell, he would go around and basically they would come up with stories to try to cover it up. I said there's a couple stories on Instagram, and that if you could pull them up, they're in our Instagram.
I got it right now, buddy.
Yeah. So Project Bluebeam was wild. They made up stories like there was a thing in Jersey. They were all over the place making up these stories of it was a weather balloon, it was another country's plane, it was kids, made an aircraft, whatever. But Heinrich was he was in it, man.
All right, you ready?
Let's do it. No one talks about Project Blue Book, man. 1968, 58.
58.
No, it's always all about Bluebeam. No one ever talks about it.
Look at that. Orbs just cruising in the sky.
Wow.
Like, there's another story, too, down by you, but I'm going to stick with Bluebeam. But there was, I think Bluebeam might even have been involved in this. There was, like, a metal orb that this family found.
Oh, yeah. Fell on their car, right?
It's something like that, yeah. And it had, like, they couldn't, kind of the same thing with Lazar. You couldn't get close to it and that kind of thing. And I think Heinrich, I think Project Blue Book went and did some research on that. Yeah, I don't know if they picked it up or what the hell happened, but yeah.
Oh, no doubt.
Wow.
Yeah, you can't touch that
There's
stuff.
another video I sent you. Let me see if I can find it.
No. Well, he was even talking about, like you said, the gravity, the feeling of like a lot of the shit is just insane. I like how he also talked about when they cut into one of them and there was like an explosion. What was he talking about there? Where he said they cut into it with like a plasma. Well, what did he cut into? And there was like a big accident, and they couldn't. Raj, you know what I'm talking about? When he was on the Rogan podcast.
Which one? Who are you talking about?
The guy before him dying. The scientist before him died because they were playing with stupid trying to solve the orb.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yes, he was there. There was an accident, and they were trying to solve the orb. Exactly what he was doing with, and yes, and I don't know if it exploded or whatever happened, but
they didn't really get into like the details of how it happened.
No. But he just said there was an accident.
Yo, and go into our Instagram chat there, man. And oh shit. And there's one. I want you to pull up the Blue Book one.
Okay.
It's up there. Let's see. So yeah, and pull up that video. Yeah, that's the one. Right there. And give you a little bit of a breakdown on Project Blue Book. Originally. That's crazy though. So they covered up. They covered up like it was.
Go ahead. I'll let it keep running on mute, so you could.
Yeah, it goes quick.
Yes,
but the government basically had a program to cover up all these UFO sightings because there was so many out of nowhere after basically Roswell, and then it just got crazy. So they started Project Blue Book, Heinrich, and another. I want to say it was Air Force.
It was
commander
definitely
or something.
The Air Force was definitely involved.
Yeah, he had like a partner though that he worked with. I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head right now. Shit, but yeah, he was like they would go on investigations and basically almost like Men in Black them to where they'd go up and bloop, nope, your story's different now. That's not what you've seen. You know? Like basically like all those kids, 60 people in Zimbabwe at that school seen that craft land and had the same story. It's hard to change. It's hard to change that many opinions.
Yeah.
Right.
When it's 2 or 3 people, it's like, whoop, you're done.
I'm trying to scroll down and read some of these comments that people write.
Anything good?
So, of course, imagine the chaos of population. Freak the fuck out. There's 6-7 races traveling from different dimensions throughout our lives and millions of years prior. It'd be too much for 99% of the sheep to keep with the preoccupied reality TV and electronics and fake ass news. We'd be
For
fucked.
sure.
Aliens are demons. Wake up. I don't know. There's a lot. You get in that rabbit hole.
Right?
What's next, buddy?
You know what's next is they go with Project Blue Book to cover up. They always got to be involved. Government's always got to be involved in shit. So they got Project Blue Book, Project Blue Beam. This is something I know you're familiar with, and Mike, I know you as well.
I'm familiar with Blue Beam.
Yep. So they're gonna do. You've been
Project
watching
2025.
You know who's a big believer on that? The first time I really heard of that was Roseanne. She was talking about Project Blue Beam. Yeah, let me see if I can bring that up while you're tell me a little bit about Project Blue Beam.
So you can. A couple of years ago, they had the hologram of Tupac dancing on stage, and you're seeing all these holograms in the skies and fake dragons and all this crazy shit, right? Well, now you're gonna see it. They're gonna fake. The plan for Project Blue Beam is to fake an alien invasion, basically, to where everybody comes together, then all these governments come together, and you get a one world government. So you start the new world order, and the people with all the power run everything and control. That's basically you won't own anything and like it kind of strategy.
Well, what current president is trying to take over multiple areas of the world?
Yeah,
he's trying to get Ukraine. He's trying to get Greenland. He's trying to get. He even said something about Canada.
Gaza. He said he's going to put a statue of himself up in Gaza after he ends the terror shit going on over there.
Israel.
So here, you guys, I got some funny shit. Let me see. Let me share this for you guys. This is really
he's a
funny
fucking
shit.
maniac.
You guys ready for this?
See it.
All right. So there it is.
Really?
This is where I first saw it. So Roseanne Barr in New York City, November of 2020. She was saying the drones. Remember all the drones?
Yeah.
She's saying that could have been the start of Blue Beam, but she's saying in stock image UFO. Barr is one of several Donald Trump supporters who has suggested the drone sightings in New Jersey are related to the Project Blue Beam conspiracy theory, which claims global elites plan to fake an alien invasion. There you go. So
Tripoli was just on her podcast a couple weeks ago.
Awesome.
It was funny as shit.
That's a great driver, by the way.
I was gonna say that's a nice little club right there. So that's the plan, man. I mean, aliens, dude, we could go on for hours on this. Aliens is a fun topic, man. You can go all different directions with it. You could do a whole podcast on Project Blue Book, Project Blue Beam.
Yeah, I think we should circle back. I think we should circle back, and after I want to watch the actual movie.
Some say they used Project Blue Beam in 9/11.
Could have. They very well could have.
So
I can't wait for the 9/11
on the History Channel, dude. They did a couple seasons of Project Blue Book, and do you ever see The Wire?
Yeah, I mean, I love The Wire. Yes, I've seen The Wire.
All right,
yes.
so you know Garcetti in The Wire?
Yeah.
He's the main character, and he plays Heinrich in Project Blue Book on the History Channel.
All right. Is it a good show?
It's a great show. I watched every episode. Right. They really do a good job of like portraying with the whole cover-ups and all that shit too. And then you got like Fire in the Sky if you get into the abduction thing with Travis Walton. That's a great movie. I don't think there's a movie. Let me see if there's. I'm curious to see if there's a movie of Betty and Barney Hill, because that's a good one too.
Gotta be right. I mean, it was an actor talking about him even.
Yeah, there's got to be a movie. Let's see. Yeah, that story, that's local. I mean, not local, but close enough to us in New Hampshire. The UFO incident TV movie in 1975. Yeah, so nothing recent. That'd be a good remake to do.
There
Mm-hmm.
you go.
Something to that extent. Yeah,
Sure, man.
Fire in the
Spielberg. Send that one to Spielberg.
How much?
Fire in the Skies on Amazon. You can check that out.
How much knowledge, since we know like how deep Hollywood runs in a lot of things, how much knowledge do you think Hollywood has and are allowed to put out about UFOs and extraterrestrials or aliens or other beings?
I think the government's always 20, 30, 25, 30 years ahead. So Hollywood's probably 10 years ahead of what we're getting, so they can keep us on our toes and, get us to slowly start to see what's happening and gradually just boom, blast us with something that we're like, holy shit, look at that. It's still real, but it's still something we get accustomed to seeing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
With like
Absolutely.
AI and shit. To make Project Bluebeam, like to see all the AI you're seeing now, and you go to a movie with 3D glasses or whatever, for something like Project Bluebeam to happen, they can put it in front of you. It'd be so much more realistic to you. The VR goggles everybody's walking around wearing. So
What if like Trump and Musk know this, you got Agenda 2025, Project Bluebeam. What if Musk was building robots to defend against aliens for telepathic reasons?
I hope so, because I ain't trying to scrap with no aliens, bro.
He's like,
Keep
you're like,
building them, cuz.
if I do, he's got to be 3 feet tall. Like, give me a chance.
Yeah, even then, bro. ET, he's got that reach. You seen ET? He used to have that long arms.
or he touches you one time and you're like fucking dead.
Yeah, yeah. Then he hopefully bring me back to life, bro. I got some shit to do still.
So we got the Illuminati, the War of the Illuminatis versus the Freemasons. Then we got the War of the Aliens versus the robots. It should be fun, man. It should be fun.
That's it. That's the world. That's it, man.
The
That's
world's
literally the
coming up.
world we're in.
That would
But
be
boy,
crazy though, and that's how like Trump and Musk become the new world order. Wouldn't that be insane? They save us from the alien invasion, Project Bluebeam. Everybody's just like, oh my god.
we
listen,
protect our country.
Donald
You're doing a
Trump,
great job.
They could literally save us from that. What you just said, like an alien invasion, and they would still
Be the bad guys.
No, they would still fucking hate Trump. They would still hate him.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm saying the guy could literally save not only the United States, he could save the planet.
Yeah, he's still the bad guy.
You would still hate him.
Yeah.
It's
for sure.
insane. That's what's insane to me. But whatever. It is what it is, man.
They'd be like, see, he's racist. He killed an alien.
Racist. He killed an alien. Fuck.
You're not coming to our country unless you're paying taxes and you have a green card.
Oh shit!
Show us your visa. All right, boys, we did it again. Another episode. So the audio should be up and running here very soon. I did not get an email to say that there's any issues with it. So usually it takes about 24 hours. I did it this afternoon.
Yeah, you had ChatGPT. Tell about ChatGPT, man. I didn't know that they answer questions for me. They write questions for me, but man, they'll switch the logo for you too, huh?
Yo, I needed to change the picture size, so I could just go on ChatGPT. I'm like, yo, can you change this picture size to fit the Apple Podcast format? Boom. Can you fix it for Spotify? Boom. Copy the file, upload them. Boom, boom, boom. Good to go.
Unbelievable. Thank God.
So you upload our to Spotify, the Chaos?
It's going to be on Spotify and Apple. And
it should be soon.
Apple's going to take longer, but it's going to be where else will it go? Like Amazon too. So if you got like Alexa, I'm not putting it on YouTube because it will interfere with this.
Have you uploaded, Raj, every episode so far?
They're on Podbean. Everything's available on Podbean audio.
Gotcha.
Okay. I'll let my friends know down here.
Yeah, so you can download the Podbean app and all the episodes are posted there. So
okay.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, but it'll be on all the regular stuff ASAP.
Yeah, but we'll be a little bit more consistent with this. Get it up in the audio now.
Yeah, keep an eye out for that special guest, right?
Yeah, moving in some guests. I'll tell you who is. Fuck it, if you're listening this long. We're gonna have Mark, the host of My Family Thinks I'm Crazy. He's the booker for Tinfoil Hat, so he's had some really cool guests on his podcast. He goes deep into the conspiracy world, so it's gonna be pretty cool guest to have on, man. Not too far away from us.
Hell
He
yeah.
lives in Connecticut, another Northeast guy. So
Sweet. Looking forward to that, bro.
I don't know where it's gonna go, conversation wise. I haven't really planned anything.
I can't wait.
Yeah, man. We'll kick it, bro. Okay, you know how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see.
We don't need no script. We don't need no script, man. We're pros at this. We'll just let it roll, man.
I just micro it up, you know.
There you go.
You thinking about it? Yeah, there you go. There you go. I already told the wife. Planning on it Thursday night. Planning on it, buddy. So, all right.
There you go.
That's it. I'll be listening. I'll just chill and listen and run the. I'll run the production.
The videos.
Production for us. That's it, guys.
Best way to do it. Best way to do it for
boys.
a good one.
All right.
When you get a guest like that, you just kind of sit back and let them rip.
Yeah, you just
But,
ask questions and let them do their thing.
That'll be
make
fun,
sure you,
man.
make sure you check us out on YouTube. Make sure you check us out on Instagram. Like, subscribe, share, give us a review on Apple if you're listening on Apple, or if you're listening on YouTube. Give a
those
comment.
comments on YouTube,
Yeah, leave those comments. Give a likes. Subscribe to the page. That always helps. So really trying to get this thing rolling a little bit. Boys, always appreciate the time.
Yeah.
Always fun, especially doing stupid shit like this with the aliens. You could always go in any direction with it. But there's a lot of cool history, like Project Blue Book, nothing about. Like, that's a cool.
Never know. I literally just wrote it down. It's going to be a show that I watch with my wife. So I had no idea even it was a show and even a thing.
And Rod, you got to watch Flight of the Navigator.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that and Skulls. I started watching. I didn't start watching it, but I watched this preview.
Here's my note. I'm gonna go out there and tell the wife if she's still awake that we have a new show to watch.
Yeah, it's on the History Channel. But
yeah.
What was cool, and we do it every week. One of us every single week. Mikey stumped me a couple of weeks ago, but one of us comes up with a conspiracy the other one hasn't heard of before. And it's just something that we've continued to do amongst us. So there's just so much shit out there that we're going to continue to be like, yo, what the hell?
Yeah. And mark that down and we'll talk about it, baby. I love
it. We could do a whole episode on Blue Book. Yeah, for sure.
It'll be fun. Sure. I'll watch that show and then we'll talk about it after.
All right, brother.
All right, cool, man.
Appreciate you, boys. Check us out on YouTube, Instagram. Like, subscribe, and share. Hit that like button.
Boys.
Bye.
Schemes, hidden agendas ain't as crazy as they seem. Voices in the dark amplifying dreams. Conspiracy chaos, nothing's what it seems.